Welcome to Campground Conversations, an Ocean Lakes podcast. Join us as we dive into frequently asked questions, uncover hidden gems, and share exclusive behind-the-scenes stories of Ocean Lakes Family Campground. From all of us at your happy place in sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to Campground Conversations. Today's topic is Halloweekends.
We are the marketing team at Ocean Lakes Family Campground. I'm Dana.
I'm Kinsley.
I'm Barb.
And I am the special guest to be named later.
We want to welcome Ron Zwing. He is the artist behind Sandy Starfish and an integral part of the Halloweekends events. So today we're all gathering, to really talk about the background of Halloweekends. Basically, this event, when did it start? How did it grow? How do we come up with the themes? Just background that I think our guests are always interested in. And to the marketing team and Ron, we have a lot of fun.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
We have some really zany conversations. Some we can't talk about. But when you're discussing how to make a starfish do all kinds of funny things, it's always interesting. But I want to back up a little and kind of talk about how Halloweekend fun kind of grew. Ron, you've actually been working with Ocean Lakes longer than I, and I have been here 26 years.
I have been here since the Civil War.
So anyway, so basically what happened is it went from a one-day event, Halloween, in the recreation calendar to every month in October. How did that happen?
Halloween was always a fun event, and it's become an even funner, is that a word?
More fun.
A more fun experience now that it's gone the entire month. So, anyway, so it's grown and grown and grown every year. And I think people actually come back to Ocean Lakes just to experience Halloween in Halloweekends.
That's it. And we've learned a lot doing this event. It is so. At the same time, I was going to campground conferences with campground owners and operators from all over the U.S., and I started learning that a lot of them had multiple Halloween weekends. I kept saying, we need to add more of these. And Craig Culbreth, who recently retired, was a big part of this. And, of course, Lance Thompson, who retired. They were all part of encouraging this event to grow. And it did. It grew over time. And weekend by weekend. So we made it a weekend, a Friday and Saturday, and then we added another weekend, and then we added another weekend. And there was a lot of pushing for the whole month of October. And there were some rough Halloween weekends, but definitely the first week of October because there were storms like 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So when did it start? Any trivia? Okay, don't look at the notes, anybody.
2006.
No, I mean, we've been doing Halloween.
You said not to look at the notes.
For you. That might have been when we created like the pumpkin Sandy and the ghost Sandy and the mummy starfish Sandy.
I had a Frankenstein Sandy.
You did.
Dracula.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Dracula,
yeah. The basics, like
Mummy.
those great Halloween Sandies.
It was a good guess. I mean,
Okay.
Now I'm going to look at the notes.
Okay.
So
yeah, we all were
2014.
cheating. 2014 is when it came about. And it was actually, I think, an idea, I think Lance had at the time. We wanted a t-shirt, probably Craig was in on it, and it was Boo Y'all, and it was a purple shirt with the ghost saying
Cute.
Boo Y'all, and Boo Y'all. Am I saying that right? Kinsley?
Yes.
Say it.
Boo, y'all.
It sounds better when you say it.
It does. So then
Somebody came up with the Addams Family as the basic theme, but since we can't use Addams Family or say Addams Family, we came up with from our kooky family to yours.
yes, happy
And they
Halloween.
came to me and said, can you draw some of the Addams Family characters as starfish? Now, prior to that, we've done little things, with like Sandy and a pumpkin and a few things here and there and the t-shirt, but it never was a full-blown scene. So then, we all talked about theming, and I think back then it was probably 3 or 4 of us. I don't think
Yeah.
it was any more than that.
There were a lot less teammates
Yeah, there
before
were a lot
the
less
water park.
teammates. Yeah,
The water park
exactly.
changed everything.
Yeah, last year I think there were like 50 people critiquing, but it was when there was 4, it was a lot easier because I just basically did what I wanted to do, and every now and then somebody would say, "I think Lurch's hair is too long," and I'd be like, "Okay, I can deal with that." So, but they ended up turning out to be full-blown life-size characters surrounding the camper. So we had Fester with a light bulb, and the light bulb actually went off when, in the dark. And we basically had every single character. We had Gomez and Morticia and Lurch and the kids, and that kind of opened the door for future years. But as far as I'm concerned,
there was a
that
twist
was the
to that
first.
theme. And so the Adams, which we spelled differently, in our own notes, because, we're like, whoa. They all are starfish. They just have
very
with features and accessories that bring forth the well-known family. But they met another family on vacation, so that was the twist.
Oh, that's right. They met the we can't say Griswold,
but that kind of they met a very innocent, fun-loving family who was unexpectedly did not anticipate camping next to an Adams type family.
And they were taking pictures of them. Yeah, no, it's all coming back to me like a dream.
And I'm sure some people may actually have real life memories of these kind of camping encounters with other families. Hopefully not here. So that was really how it started. And then you fast forward even another. Remember, 2014, we was actually starting the water park planning. So at that time, I really was just one person. I had another person with me, but they had kind of gone part-time, Stephanie.
Yeah.
And she was a really great graphic designer from Ohio. And she finally came to me and she says, "Listen, I'm tired of typing Halloween weekends. Why don't we merge it into Halloweekends?" And that's where the name came from. Periodically, as I'm looking through files on my desktop, I cannot believe how much artwork and how many years we have been doing Halloweekends. It is crazy to see, one, how much creativity comes out of each year, how many files of artwork there are, signs, bags, t-shirts, cups, characters that don't make the cut.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few of those.
There is a few of those. So I have the list of themes. I want you to jump in when you joined the Halloweekend theme. Kinsley's laughing. Ron was there from the beginning.
I joined when they were bulldozing trees to make room for campers. So that's what I remember. And I remember there was somebody running around wearing a costume that I think it was an early maintenance team outfit that just didn't make the cut.
So we talked about 2014 Boo Y'all. And for those of you who have been here longer than me and maybe have it documented, I hope I got it right. Are you ready? 2014 was Boo Y'all, was basically a shirt. 2015 was Happy Halloween from our kooky family to yours. 2016, The Starfish Wars, Let the Fun Be With You. 2017, Starfish Heroes, Protecting Your Happy Place. 2018, The Wizard of OL, There's No Place Like Your Home Away from Home. 2019, Sealy Doo, Where Are You? At Ocean Lakes, of course. 2020, The Halloween Hootenanny at Sandy Seaside Ranch, featuring COVID the Kid in jail. That was a tough year, but boy, we went for it. 2021, Halloweekends, starring Sandy Starfish, The Golden Age of Ocean Lakes, which was 1971 to 2021. So that was the birthday year. And one of our other themes was lights, camera, candy. And we rolled out the red carpet. 2022 was Welcome to Sandyland. Escape the game of life. 2023 was Sunny Seas and Starfish, please. OL, the place you go. And then we're going to talk about this year's theme. Dana.
Yes. Well, I was going to jump back real quick and just say, so I started in 2019. I started on October 9th. So I started with the marketing department in the middle of Halloweekends. And I had always been a fan of Halloween, but I had no idea it was going to be what it is here. It's just amazing to see all the people that get into it, the house decorations, the campsite decorations, everything our staff does, and all the people that are just riding around, having a great time with each other, giving out candy. So it was such an exciting time for me to start at the campground, and it's continued to grow, and I love it every year. It's probably my favorite time of year at the campground.
It's one of my favorite too. And I think you brought up a really important point. We could not do all this crazy without our guests and our
Absolutely, yep.
leaseholders.
Yep.
You know, everybody just jumped on board, and they embrace it. They love it.
They love it. Yeah.
They look forward to it. And we know we're doing something right when the weekends fill up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm driving through the park or walking out to my car and you hear the giggling and you see all the, I mean, it's why we're here, isn't it?
Well, it's
Yes,
great. The marketing
definitely.
team, we ride around during trick or treat and we're taking pictures and interacting with the guests, which we love. And so many times we're handing out candy to the guests and they're giving candy back to us because they want to include us in there, which is so sweet. They kind of make us a part of their little family, which is great.
You know what
That's
I
awesome.
find interesting? I come down every year and take pictures at Halloween, and all the characters from previous years are now in other spots. They're down by the rec building, they're by the entrance, they're over by the Camptown Center. And it's like a interesting flashback because every year when we come up with a new theme, I have to do it better than I did the year prior. And it's kind of tough because some of the years came out really nice, but then for some reason every year it seems to happen. But as I drive around, it's kind of fun to see people taking selfies, little kids dressed up. And I think it's a credit to everybody at Ocean Lakes, just in general, because it all started off really small. And I was part of that conversation when it first started, when we were going to do t-shirts, and then it kind of grew. And, the real issue was, October was kind of an off month, and it was hard to get people to come to Ocean Lakes because their kids wanted to stay home and trick or treat. And now it's like, no, we don't want to stay home. We want to go to Ocean Lakes. And I think expanding it to multiple weekends, it kind of gave families an opportunity to trick or treat at home, but also be part of something here the week prior. And I think as time led on and all those kids started getting older, I think they were like, no, we don't really care if we stay at home. We want to go to Ocean Lakes. And now it's like you're hard pressed to get a golf car, and it's amazing to see all the people having fun.
And the teammates and their families.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
They look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kensley, you worked here. Before you worked in marketing, though, you worked as a lifeguard
Yes,
for a couple
I did.
years.
Driving through the gate and to the water park, I would always see the characters placed around the campground, but I always kind of got the Halloweekends vibe, but not as much as I will this year. So I'm excited.
I can't wait. We can't wait to take you around. It's going to be fun.
Kensley's been a great asset. Ron, I think you brought up a lot of really good points about really how this has all happened and evolved, and how it's grown.
We start working on
so
this
much.
months prior. I like to honestly start working on Halloweekends in June. And every year we push it up more and more, but every year it becomes more and more too. Like I said, originally probably took me half a day. Now all of a sudden I'm working on it a month. So now all of a sudden it's June and July, and then it has to go to print. And it used to start off with 2 or 3 characters. I could do that in 3 hours. Now all of a sudden it's cups, t-shirts, bags, you name it. And it's a good 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks worth of artwork, which is an unbelievable amount for 1 month of the year. And I'm glad that they continue the tradition year after year. with 50 people telling you Sandy's arm should be 3 inches higher. Why is he holding a sword? He should be having a hook. But then I draw a hook, and then Sandy's not a pirate. Sandy's all of a sudden in a circus. So now all of a sudden he needs a ringmaster hat. So, anyways, that alone takes up 2 weeks. So
there's a lot. Ron is a patient man with us. And yes, it's a lot of work. We can talk about Halloweekends without a shout out to Scott Blaylock for
That
his.
is true.
He's our sign guy, and
Barb gave Scott Blaylock.
I think people
he has a company locally in Myrtle Beach, and he's been doing that type of work forever. He was at Ground Zero for the first one, and he has printed these things and mounted them so they will last for 50 years. so basically, these things could be put in a time capsule and be around in 100 years. The ones that were put up in 2016 look as fresh and as perfect as the ones we just did this year.
And I think people have no idea how much money is spent on these characters. We do it to make Ocean Lakes special, to create what is our service mark, creating family memories that last a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about. And we maximize as much Sandy cutouts as we can.
As much Sandy.
Yeah, but sometimes I lay out the 4x8 sheet, and then I draw the art to fit the sheet. A lot of times it's like, there's a little bit of room over here, so Sandy's got to have his hand up in the air with his left hand because there's a little bit of room. So then when somebody's like, why is Sandy waving? I was like, because the sheet made me do it.
That's it. And we've learned a lot doing this event. It is far beyond, let me just make this very clear. It is far beyond the marketing team, Ron. This event takes our entire team. And I think the thing that surprised me the most from the beginning, I knew recreation was going to be part of it. That team is amazing. And let's face it, they have to execute the fun. We get to plan and have creativity and work really closely with them. But the maintenance team, believe it or not, was a key factor in growing our Halloween events. Kevin and his team, they're just amazing. And then Sally's team, the recreation team, they have to come up with the fun activities that fit the theme. And they're really good at that. And I will tell you the one surprise that I have about looking back on Halloweekends, I never anticipated us recycling all the camper scenes across the campground. That is really something I never saw happening. I'm going to count it as part of I Care because we don't throw this stuff away. And I think, if I'm right, didn't they have to get like a special container?
I think they did. A special storage unit.
Wow.
Yeah, to keep
put
them
it
all
all
in.
in.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did.
One thing I want to bring up is Halloweekends has endured so many challenges. We have had maintenance has had to take down the characters because of hurricanes and storms. They worked miracles getting it back up. So I think there was one that we got delayed maybe, but there's other times where they get it back up in time for guests to arrive for Halloween. And so those kind of things. And then in 2020, there was a worldwide pandemic. People were locked down. I remember they announced the pandemic on March 11th, 2020. And it's a big day in my life, and I'll never forget it. It's my birthday, too. I was like, oh, happy birthday. It's a pandemic. Who gets that for their birthday?
Right.
Anyway, and we debated because everything was shutting down, but the campgrounds were open. And I remember some teary-eyed conversations, and I know this team does too because we were here. Things like, you don't understand. When we saw Ocean Lakes, we felt like we were free again. We just can't thank you enough for being open. There are some rough days working in hospitality. There's some people that just don't appreciate anyone, but most people do. And we see their hearts. And so we had to decide whether or not to have Halloweekends in 2020. And we reconfigured everything. And do you remember, Dana, we launched the app early so people could have costume contests on the beachfront.
Yep. We had people take pictures down by the I Heart OL and then submit them on the app to vote.
We weren't ready to launch the app.
No, we were not.
And we love our app developer for jumping through hoops
Yes.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
So, we start this in June. Ron draws his hearts out and patiently takes guidance and injects some Ron stuff in. And then we got to have the announcement, right?
Yeah, the
Mhm.
announcements, and then working with our local printers to get all the printing done in time to get the shirts and the cups. So
And
we
the
have everything
signage
and all
and-
the signage and yep.
I would like to say though that it sounds, obviously it's a lot of work, but it really isn't a lot of work because we all look forward to it and all enjoy it. For me, I'm usually busy all spring, and this is the job I jump into during when I'm slow. And it's fun to just hear everybody's ideas and then let your imagination float. And it's kind of nice to be the person on the front end that sketches it out real rough, and I can draw pretty fast, and then people see it, and then you hear their opinions and stuff, and it sends you down a completely different track. But it's fun. It's fun for me. I'm sure it's fun for everybody, and even down to maintenance. It's only not fun when it's all put together and it's all done and it's all drawn, printed, assembled, and then there's a hurricane coming in 3 days. Okay, and I think it would have been ironic if the Wizard of Oz, was the one during the hurricane. I'm trying to think back on what year it was, but I'm pretty sure I drew an Annie M that went flying away and was never found. It's probably in Portugal right now, but the rest of the characters survived.
Well, we just can't do it without you, Ron.
No, we couldn't.
And we are your only client, right?
Yes, definitely.
Good answer, Ron. Good answer.
I would like to say that if you have not been here and you haven't seen all the displays and how people get into it, you are truly missing Halloween and the spirit of it and the spirit of, having fun with kids and family. And it's a great way to spend your fall.
Thank you guys for joining us today when we discussed everything about Halloweekends.
Ron, thank you for being our special
Yes,
guest.
thank
I
you
just,
for
I just
joining
want to hear
us.
Kensley say booyah one more time.
Boo, y'all.
That's a cut.
Yeah, cut.